Alright. Extended. Seriously, 1 star.
Yeah.
There was nothing interesting at all. There was nothing.
Nothing interesting.
I didn't care about anything that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen from the very beginning. I'm like, that's going to happen. That's going to. Oh, that's going to happen.
Watch it.
Like, there's nothing.
Just because
that
you know what's going to
intrigued
happen
me.
in it.
There's nothing intriguing about it at all.
There's tons of movies you know what's going to happen in it, and all the Marvel movies you know what's going to happen in those.
But those are exciting. This is just like standard life about people I don't care about
So,
except for Pepper.
Standard life.
So if you know what's gonna happen, it needs to have explosions.
It doesn't have to be explosion. It has to be interesting.
That's not really standard life. This is actors at a specific time in the changing over of technology.
That was the main thing, making that jump, and he wasn't able to out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then she's
original.
growing in this, and she starts getting her stardom just in the background, just being a background dancer, trying to making her way in there, and
How it happens.
showing up, and it's
like Showgirls.
and then happened to work out for when she transfers over into that. I mean, it's granted that's the same story as what happens in Singing in the Rain, but it was interesting to see.
They intentionally chose all these classic tales because
all these cliches.
Well,
it was like non-stop cliches.
It's the best version it's the best story of that transition. Also, Sunset Boulevard is the other movie that this ties in closer to. That's more his story of his not being able to make it when she was.
You know what I just figured out what this was? This is like for silent movies, like what Scary Movie is. They got a bunch of horror movies and said, let's just
there's
put some
no
shit
Wayne
together.
Brothers in this, and this is not terrible.
They're like, let's just take everything and just put it in a movie.
I would say this is more like Pulp Fiction of that stuff.
No.
It's taking them together and putting
my Lord,
this
not
great
even.
thing. Oh,
there's a big difference between classic and cliche for me.
Yeah.
There's a really big difference.
Yeah, this was cliche.
Or it's like in Star Wars, where they take all of these things from all the old samurai movies and the Western movies, and they take those great stories and put them into outer space and make this great story.
Okay, here's my... In magic, let's say, I'm going off the...
Sure.
In magic tricks, it's something like the same... There's only 4 magic tricks. There's only 4. And everything else is variations, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And it's all,
Slightly
flashing
different
stuff,
ways
different ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
This is just the standard trick. Pick. Is this your card? For me.
No.
It was all the standard tricks, and you're like, where's the flash? Where's the flip? Where's the interest?
Look, this one gets its flair because of being the black and white silent movie. It gets that, and the way that they use that style. And it's not like if someone who didn't know what they were doing went to make this movie as a silent movie.
This could not have been done before the talkie.
Yeah, but doing this to capture that style so well and to get that old style shown so perfectly on screen, they have to study the original films, know that art form, and act in the way that they did them. Because in there, you're translating. They had just done the vaudeville and the stage plays, and they're emoting big for the stage to hit the far back, and so they're not having any dialogue, so they have to completely emote with their physical actions. So that's the acting that's going from there. Now, after the sound films, you've got the more subtle acting, you've got the close-ups, you've got these nuanced performances. So you don't have that in the way that they're acting it here. So you have to now get all these actors to replicate that and to replicate the visuals of it and telling the story. So this was definitely done by a very great filmmaker in this. I think he deserved the Best Director Oscar for that one.
Well, how is it supposed to be? There's like, even just the angles were just like boring. It was just like...
Well,
isn't that cinematography?
The cinematography. But it was the classic cinematography.
Directing's different from cinematography.
Yeah.
I think he tells everybody what to do, though.
It depends on the film. Some directors can be more involved in cinematography. Definitely Robert Rodriguez, when he gets into his movies, he does everything.
His job is to say, this is a shitty angle.
Look, there's so many awards from this one that you have to go to a separate list of film of awards that the artist won from the main Wikipedia article. It's not even, they can't even capture it in the same one. It got, let's see, it won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Score, and
Best Original Score.
Best Original Score and Costume Design. I really love that this one was nominated for score.
I actually enjoyed the music, though.
No, it was great.
I enjoyed the music. That's one thing I did enjoy.
That was the other thing it was nominated for, Best Original Screenplay.
That's what I'm thinking, though. I'm thinking that people...
It didn't win, and I was glad because it doesn't have a lot of dialogue, so you don't get a lot of the screenplay in there. Plus, the screenplay it's called Original Screenplay, and it was taken directly Singing in the Rain.
But
so
I'm thinking
glad-
that's why it
And the
won,
acting-
because there's pretentious people who want to be like, I'm artsy.
No, sure.
So they're like, let's put it through.
It
It's gonna
definitely
win.
got a lot of acclaim because of pretentious people wanting an artistic movie. That definitely
Hold
got
on,
a lot.
let's look
But
at what else was. Hold on, what else was there?
they were the ones seeing it first. When it first came out, it said playing in the smaller house theaters, and these people are saying, "Oh, it's so great because of that." But then everyone else goes and sees it because of that recommendation, and it turns out to be actually good, and that's what makes it so it can make so much money. It wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't actually really good.
I would just never want to see another movie like this at all.
Where was it? Where's the 2012? Is this it?
Yes,
Yeah,
these
this
are the other ones that won. The ones that were nominated: The Descendants, which is a good one, but I don't think should win Best Picture. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. I haven't watched yet. The Help was a really great film.
That probably should have won, even though I haven't seen it.
Maybe.
You know what? It would have been either Moneyball would probably have been the other one.
Yeah, Moneyball was a great one, but I still think I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
the
no,
Artist is
no. I
better
still
than
think the
that.
artist. I forgot about Midnight in Paris.
Midnight
That
in
movie's
Paris.
so good. I love
haven't
that
seen
movie.
one.
I'm not.
It's
I have to check that. I have to
yeah,
check that out.
Woody
It's Woody
Allen.
Allen. Yeah, I did see
It's-
Woody Allen's last film movie. So
I like
Tree of
Midnight in Paris.
Life and War Horse. So
Tree of Life. Tony, never go see.
don't see Tree of
Is
Life.
that the one with
You
Brad
will
Pitt?
play.
Yeah. It's. You're saying this is an artsy film that made it, if it was artsy film to win for the sake of it would have been Tree of Life.
Yeah, that was the artsy for the
This
sake of
was artsy where I was having a difficult time.
I still actually want to see that.
Directed by Terrence Malick.
I think it'd be good to see as like an experience to experiment, where you have to tell yourself to don't turn it off and walk away.
I just don't
And
like
that's gonna be
artsy
really
for,
hard.
for the name of being
It
artsy,
wasn't.
though.
This
That's
definitely
what's
wasn't artsy for the sake of artsy. It was telling
Have a
this-
good story.
This was a great story.
It's very simple. It could have
Lead
been
actor was great.
like
He got best actor.
they could have fit that whole story in half an hour. Could have done it. Or if they had talking, 15
See, but
minutes.
it was more than that, though. I mean, that was
No nominations for actress or support.
It
or
was-
supporting actress. That's what she got because it was a smaller role. I guess.
She
She
was-
got nominated, but
I don't think
of
she
course, Octavia's
was
Best
she
Picture won.
supporting?
Yeah, I've always wondered
It depends
what's
on the percentage of the film that you're in, or the percentage of talking that you have in the film, maybe. But I don't know how they count it. I
Because
think
she
it's just the
seemed
percentage of
like
the film
she
that you're in.
was like a.
Oh, she didn't have a single.
I think she was-
She didn't have a single line. Right.
Yeah, I think you could count it as it was a supporting
And he only got
role
one.
though, because it really is. I mean, he's the title character of the
Uh-huh.
artist in this, and it's mostly about his struggle, and she is the counterpoint, the comparison.
Yeah, I mean they both grow, but it's mainly his growth.
it's
over
mostly
him
his
running.
story.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Yeah,
Rango? Dude,
Yeah,
Rango
best
was a
animated
way
feature.
better movie than this movie.
It was for animated.
If I
it
had to choose
definitely
between the
deserved-
two, I would have gone with Rango.
It was a good movie.
That's why you're not
It's
on the
good to
board
get
of.
I should.
What?
Yeah, it's a bunch of old ass white dudes, and that's why the artist won.
Yeah,
If
but
there was, if
of the
there was
ones
any
nominated,
diversity, then it would have been a little different.
of the ones nominated, well, it was a black and white film, so that does have
Well,
you can get some diversity.
African American and white.
They're not all from Africa, and they're not all Americans.
All of them.
There are some blacks that aren't. from
Even the Australians are African American Australians.
African American Australians. That works. So yeah.
Yeah.
Tony's completely wrong on this one. He just.
It's again.
It's tough for me to believe that you actually don't like it that much. Like it feels like you're doing it just to.
No, not
Like-
even. I was sitting there and I was
Yeah,
like,
it does feel a little
this
bit
is
like
me.
you're
I was
doing
sitting there watching and I was like, okay, so this is obviously gonna happen, and it happened.
It is tough.
Is there any? Do I care about these characters at all? Do I know what's gonna happen? No, I don't.
That's so. That's so interesting, though, that you just ended up not caring at all.
I can see for this movie, this is one of those things where you have to want to see the artist. If you don't want to see it going into it, it's going to be tough to watch.
If
was
he would have
about- it
killed
was about-
himself at the end, I would have been like either way, like, oh, he killed himself. Okay.
Like the
Oh,
fact
he
that you
killed him.
didn't care about his struggle in life and going from like riches to just being totally fucked.
It's
and
his
it had
fault.
nothing to
He
do
was
with.
a pompous ass, so that's what he gets. Like, who cares?
That he had
He
thought
drank
of that. Yes,
all
he
his
did.
money just for his pride.
No, he was putting all his money into something he loved that fucking died in front of him.
He was trying to make his epic film.
And when you
that
do
way.
that, then you're
It was-
screwed. And there's smart people who
That
know
would be
not to throw all their money in a dying.
Well, that has nothing
You
to do
don't
with.
know
Look,
at the time of that.
look, yeah, that was something he wouldn't have known at the time. and that was him pouring his heart into something.
It's
the
social
same-
Darwinism then.
It's a
just
similar
fun.
thing too with 3D movies
But-
coming out. Someone like I'm just gonna make a
But-
2D one, or especially the animated, the CGI 3D animated movies, and someone say I want to do a traditional hand drawn style because that's the real art form, and it's being bastardized by this other version of it. I'm gonna put all my money to get this hand drawn animated movie, and you put it out there, and it's Spirit Stallion of the whatever, and it flops in the box office because everyone's going over to see the CGI ones. But it's a good movie, but people just aren't seeing it because they're not looking at it. But you don't know that at the time. But like with the 3D movies, 2D still works. So there's ways where sometimes it can work. Maybe he could have come out with this great 2D film, but I think he was too close to the project. So you're not able to actually, you're not as collaborative with it. It doesn't get a great one, but
Yeah.
everyone else was gone and doing their
I think his one fault would have been that he didn't, and I think something he could have done, and this would have just been research, was he could have gone and seen a talkie, because a talkie came out in 27. That was the first talkie.
Yeah.
He was sitting there laughing. This is the future. Yeah, dick, it's sound. Like, can you not see that? Are you stupid? It's sound. It's the next step. Like, it's like somebody being HD. What's up with this HD
Well, you look
bullshit?
at it as a carnival
What the
trick, 'cause that's
fuck?
what it starts out as. And when 3D movies first started out, they were a carnival trick, and now they're being everywhere. Not that they're great, but they're shown everywhere.
Hindsight
when
is
John
2020.
Lasseter,
I mean, can you tell me the next great big technology that's going to occur? Not really.
when John Lasseter was an animator at Disney, he proposed to his bosses to do a completely computer-generated animated movie. He wants to do that, and they said that's stupid. It takes as long and costs as much as any other 2D hand-drawn animated movie. Why would we waste our time with that? He goes off, and now that becomes the big thing. But they blow it off as just a gimmicky trick thing. He had done a short with it. They're like, it's just a little gimmick. That was the same thing. They didn't appreciate it at the time. So anyway,
I think the same could have probably been said about South Park. I bet no one would have saw it, like, if they saw
the
that.
little Spirit of Christmas thing.
They would have.
Some people saw it.
What the
loved
fuck
it,
is this
but-
shit? Like,
Yeah,
this is awful.
these potty mouthed, terrible little kids.
The animation's awful. And
Oh
But-
well, I don't know if there's more we can say from. It's depressing.
I think we covered it.
Let's-
it's pretty depressing. I'm gonna say this because I said it in the last footage, but it was a point that I made. But it was just like, I find it hard to believe, like, it's something like giving something a 1. Like, for me,
It means I would not recommend it to anybody. I would never watch it
He
again.
understands what a 1
Yeah, I
means.
know what a 1
he doesn't
means.
want to see anything like it. He wouldn't recommend it. He would never want to see anything like it again. He doesn't like it at all. That it's crazy that
I don't
you
give
could say
ones
that
to
for this
films
movie.
to things that I at least think, okay, that was at least done well, and they stayed true to, like, their thing, and okay.
See, I don't give. That's the difference. I don't give credit to, like, they really did their homework. They really dug in deep. Like, I don't give a shit. Did I enjoy it? And we're gonna recommend it? No. That's how I give my ratings. I don't care if somebody put their heart and soul and they work.
Like even M.
to
Night
the
Shyamalan
bones.
films, I'll give him a 2 sometimes. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you did it well,
exactly.
but the only things are like, the only one I can think of recently that was a 1 was A Haunted House, which was terrible. But seriously, that was a 1 for me. 1. It was just, it was nothing. But I can't compare that to no. You're crazy. All right, that's it.
Yeah,
We're done with this. We'll talk to you
In-betweeners.
next week. In between. Tony, go.
Between is awesome.